Have you ever found yourself wide awake in the middle of the night, caught in the endless churn of your thoughts, struggling to find rest? The clock ticks on, but your mind won't let go. You're overwhelmed by the weight of everything that might happen tomorrow, next week, or even years down the line. The constant loop of what-if questions swirls in your head like a storm, leaving you drained, anxious, and powerless. What if I fail? What if I lose everything? What if it's too late? The future, it seems, is filled with uncertainty, and it's easy to become paralyzed by fear. It's as though the unknown has a tight grip on your heart, and the more you try to predict or control what's ahead, the more you feel out of control. Life has a way of throwing challenges our way, and the weight of these uncertainties can feel suffocating. But what if I told you that the very act of worrying is what's actually preventing you from living? What if the solution to all this stress and anxiety wasn't about striving harder or controlling every outcome, but about embracing the present moment with awareness and calm? What if I told you that there is an ancient wisdom, one that has been passed down through generations, that can help you navigate these difficult moments with clarity and peace? This wisdom comes from Buddhism, and it offers a powerful antidote to worry, fear, and stress. It shows us that we don't have to be consumed by uncertainty. Instead, we can cultivate the tools to embrace the unknown with grace, live fully in the present, and respond to life's challenges with calmness and clarity. In this video, we will dive deep into how Buddhist teachings can help you break free from the cycle of constant worry and fear. We'll explore practical everyday strategies like mindfulness, the art of letting go, and the transformative power of impermanence, all designed to help you find peace and strength no matter what challenges life throws your way. Whether you're grappling with personal crises, financial stress, or the daily grind of uncertainty, Buddhism offers a roadmap to peace, self-empowerment, and inner strength. It shows us that the key to navigating life isn't about control or prediction, but about embracing the now with full presence and awareness. So I invite you to join me in exploring how you can free yourself from the grip of worry. Together, let's uncover the wisdom that will allow you to step into a life that's filled with peace, clarity, and empowerment. A life where you no longer feel weighed down by fear, but one where you are in control of your own inner peace no matter what comes your way. 1. The nature of worry. Worry. It's something almost everyone experiences. It's a natural part of being human, but it's also one of the most destructive emotions we can indulge in. Think about it for a moment. When you're caught in a cycle of worry, it's like your mind is in overdrive, constantly racing from one worst-case scenario to the next. What if this happens? What if that happens? We spend our time imagining negative outcomes, fearing the worst, and projecting these fears into a future that hasn't even arrived yet. The result? Emotional paralysis. We become trapped in an endless cycle of what-ifs, fueling our fears until we feel suffocated by them. We end up spending so much mental and emotional energy on problems that might never even exist. But here's the truth. Most of the fears we harbor are not real. They are not based in reality. They are products of our minds, which are constantly swirling in uncertainty, creating scenarios that never materialize. Have you ever laid awake at night, the darkness heavy around you, your mind racing, unable to rest because your thoughts just keep spinning? You try to calm yourself, but the questions keep flooding in, uninvited, relentless. What if I can't make ends meet? What if I lose everything? What if I fail? What if I let everyone down? The more you try to push them away, the more they grow, consuming your every thought. Your heart races, your mind whirls with fear, and before you know it, the unknown takes over, making you feel small, powerless, and trapped. This cycle of worry is a mental storm. It's loud, it's overwhelming, and it clouds your judgment. It makes it almost impossible to find peace, and it drags you into an emotional quicksand where the harder you struggle, the deeper you sink. But here's the thing. Most of what we fear is imagined. These worst-case scenarios we replay in our minds rarely come true. How many times have you stayed up all night consumed by a worry only to wake up the next day and realize it was a false alarm? How often have you spent days or weeks consumed by fear of something only to find that the thing you feared never came to pass? And yet we continue to torment ourselves by projecting our worries into the future as if they're already real, even when they haven't even happened. Buddhism teaches that worry is a creation of the mind. It's a mind that is focused on the future, a mind that is not living in the present moment. We become lost in the endless cycle of what-if thinking, and it keeps us detached from the now, the only place where we can actually act. The truth is that when we project fear into the future, we are completely disconnected from the only moment that actually matters, this moment right here, right now. Imagine for a moment stepping outside of that cycle of fear, the never-ending loop of what-ifs that have kept you up at night. What if you could take a step back, close your eyes for a moment, and just breathe? What if instead of spiraling into worry about things that haven't happened, you could focus on what's right in front of you? What if in this moment, you allowed yourself to see the reality of what's happening right now, instead of being consumed by a future that may never come? This simple shift in focus, the act of returning to the present moment, is where your true power lies. You can't control the future, and you can't change the past. The only thing you can truly influence is this moment, the one you are living right now. In this moment, you have the ability to change your mental landscape. You have the power to stop the storm of worry before it overtakes you. It's not easy, but it's possible. The first step is recognizing that your mind caught in the cycle of fear is not the truth. Your fears, your worries, your doubts, they are not reality. They are illusions created by a mind that has been trained to overthink and overanalyze. And so I ask you, what if you could let go of those fears? What if you could stop imagining the worst possible scenario and instead embrace the present moment with open arms? Let's take a moment together. Close your eyes and take a deep, calming breath. Inhale deeply, feeling the air fill your lungs, and exhale slowly, letting go of all the tension in your body. As you breathe, bring your attention to the now. Notice how your body feels in this moment. Notice your breath, how it moves in and out, steady and calm. In this moment, there is no need for fear. There is no need to worry about what's coming next. This moment is all you have, and it is enough. As you continue to breathe, allow yourself to experience the peace that comes from simply being present. Let go of the worries about tomorrow, next week, or next year, and be fully here now. This is where your power lies. This is where you begin to reclaim your peace and stop worrying about things you can't control. You don't need to predict the future. You don't need to overthink what might happen. What you need is to embrace the present moment fully, to allow yourself to be grounded and centered in this exact place and time. Worry is a natural part of life, yes, but it doesn't have to be your constant companion. You don't have to let it define your existence. By practicing mindfulness, you begin to break free from the cycle of worry and step into a life that is present, calm, and empowered. Worrying about the future is like planting seeds of fear that will only grow into more fear. Mindfulness is the act of planting seeds of peace, understanding that the only place you truly control is the present moment. The more you practice this, the more you can cultivate a garden of calmness and clarity, and the less your mind will be weighed down by unnecessary fears. By embracing mindfulness, you begin to shift your perspective from a fear-driven existence to a present-driven existence. And in this shift, you reclaim your peace, your power, and your mental freedom. In this moment, notice how you feel. Can you feel the stillness? Can you feel the power of the present moment beginning to wash over you? Each time worry starts to creep in, take a moment to return to the now. This is your anchor, your path to peace. You don't need to control the future. You only need to control how you respond to the present. As you let go of worry, you open the door to clarity, calmness, and inner strength. The future will unfold as it's meant to. But this moment right here is where you can truly begin to live. 2. Mindfulness, breaking the cycle of worry. Worry is a silent thief. It doesn't shout or break down doors, it sneaks in quietly and takes root in our minds, filling our thoughts with endless uncertainty and anxiety. It's a cycle that seems impossible to escape, looping over and over again until we're drained both emotionally and physically. We lie awake at night, trapped in our thoughts, playing out worst-case scenarios, asking, "What if?" over and over, as if by simply worrying, we can control the future. But what if the very act of worrying is actually the thing that's holding you back from finding peace? What if you could break free from this cycle and return to a state of calm and clarity? What if you could reclaim the power of the present moment, the one place where true peace exists? Mindfulness, as taught in Buddhism, is the key to breaking this cycle. Mindfulness is not just a practice. It is a way of being away, of returning to the here and now, where life is unfolding right before you. The mind is like a wild monkey, jumping from thought to thought, never content. The Buddha spoke of the mind as being like this monkey, constantly grasping at fears, worries, and distractions, unable to focus, to rest, or to find peace. The more you try to control it, the more it spirals out of your control. Think for a moment. Have you ever noticed how your thoughts just seem to run away from you? One minute you're focused, and the next your mind is leaping from one fearful thought to the next. What if I can't keep up? What if I'm not good enough? What if something goes wrong? And suddenly, before you know it, you're trapped, overwhelmed by the weight of it all. These thoughts are not facts. They are just mental habits. They are patterns that we have repeated over and over again, often rooted in fear, insecurity, and attachment to outcomes. We become attached to these thoughts as if they are real, as if they define who we are. But they don't. They're just thoughts, temporary, fleeting, and ever-changing. Now imagine for a moment stepping outside of this constant storm of thought. Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Let your breath flow gently in and out, and as you do, notice the stillness that comes when you let go of your thoughts for just a moment. This is mindfulness in its simplest form, being fully present with what is happening right now. It's letting go of the constant mental noise and simply observing what's happening within you and around you. The practice of mindfulness teaches us that we are not our thoughts. Just as the clouds float across the sky, your thoughts can pass through your mind without sticking to you. Imagine your thoughts as clouds in the sky. Some clouds may feel heavy, dark, and ominous, while others might float by light and fluffy. But one thing is certain, none of these clouds will stay forever. They will move. They will shift. Eventually, they will dissolve. And you are not the clouds. You are the sky. The vast open space that can hold all of these thoughts without being disturbed by them. You are the awareness behind the thoughts, the stillness that exists beyond the noise. And when you practice mindfulness, you begin to step back from the storm of your mind and remember that you are not your thoughts. This is the power of mindfulness. It allows you to become an observer of your mind instead of its prisoner. When you stop identifying with your thoughts, when you stop thinking that they define who you are or what your future will be, you take back your power. The cycle of worry starts to dissolve because you stop feeding it. Instead of getting caught up in the current of anxious thoughts, you can simply watch them pass. The first step to breaking the cycle of worry is simple pause. When you notice that your mind has begun its spiraling dance of fears and what-ifs, stop. Take a breath. Pause. In that moment of stillness, you take back control. You break the momentum of worry, the flow of anxious thoughts that seem to have a life of their own. In the busy, chaotic world we live in, it's easy to get lost in our thoughts, to become overwhelmed by the weight of our responsibilities, our fears, and our desires for control. But when we focus on the present moment, we remember that the only moment we truly have is now. And in this moment, we have the power to choose how we respond. What if you could release the fear of what might happen next? What if instead of worrying about the future, you chose to fully experience the present moment? In the present, there is no worry. There is no fear of what's to come because you are here right now. Mindfulness teaches us to anchor ourselves in the present. The key is to notice what is happening around you and within you without judgment. You may feel discomfort, tension, or even fear rising within you. But mindfulness isn't about pushing these emotions away. It's about noticing them, acknowledging them, and allowing them to move through you without clinging to them. The goal isn't to get rid of your thoughts or feelings. It's to allow them to come and go like clouds in the sky. In Buddhism, the concept of non-attachment is central. We are taught to let go of our attachment to thoughts, ideas, and even emotions. When you practice mindfulness, you start to see that you don't have to cling to every thought that arises in your mind. You can observe it, let it pass, and then return to the present. The more you practice mindfulness, the more you realize that your thoughts are like passing cars. You don't need to jump into every car that passes by. You can simply sit on the side of the road, watch them go, and remain grounded in your own awareness. Think of your mind like the ocean. The surface may be choppy with waves full of thoughts and worries, but beneath the surface, beneath the noise, is stillness. You are the ocean, not the waves. The waves may rise and fall, but the depth of the ocean remains calm and unchanged. Now let's bring this into action. The next time you find yourself spiraling into worry, try this step 1. Pause and breathe. Stop for a moment. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath. Let the air fill your lungs and feel the tension in your body release as you exhale. Step 2. Observe. Without judgment, observe your thoughts. Notice them for what they are: temporary, fleeting, and not the truth. Recognize that these thoughts do not define you, nor do they control you. Step 3. Return to the present. Focus on your breath, your senses, and your body. Notice the way your feet feel on the ground, the sensation of air against your skin, or the sounds around you. Bring your attention fully to the present moment. Step 4. Let go. Allow the thoughts to pass like clouds drifting by in the sky. Know that they do not hold any power over you. With each breath, return to the present. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present, of reclaiming your peace, and of letting go of the mental noise that keeps you locked in a cycle of worry. It's about learning to see your thoughts for what they are, temporary visitors, and not letting them control your life. With consistent practice, mindfulness can help you break the cycle of worry. It teaches you to stay grounded in the now, to let go of the past and the future, and to accept the present moment as it is. In the present, there is peace. In the present, there is no worry. There is only you, fully alive, fully aware, and at peace. The next time worry arises, take a moment to pause. Take a deep breath, step back, and simply observe. Allow yourself to return to the present moment. By doing this, you begin to break free from the cycle of worry and take back your power, the power to live fully in the now. Mindfulness is the key to stopping the cycle of worry. It allows you to observe your thoughts and recognize that they do not define you. In this practice, you will find peace, clarity, and the ability to face life's challenges with calm and strength. 3. Embracing impermanence, finding peace in change. In a world that feels increasingly chaotic, impermanence offers us a profound, transformative truth. It is one of the most powerful teachings in Buddhism, and one that can change the way we experience life, especially in moments of deep distress. Impermanence, the understanding that everything from our thoughts to our emotions, from our hardships to our successes is temporary, invites us to let go of the illusion of permanence. Nothing lasts forever, and it's this very truth that paradoxically can bring us the peace we so desperately seek. But here's the thing about impermanence. It's not just an abstract philosophical concept. It's something that we experience daily, though we often ignore it. We are constantly reminded that everything is changing, whether it's the seasons, the people in our lives, or even our own bodies and minds. Yet when we are faced with adversity, we forget that change is inevitable. We get stuck in the moment, believing that the pain, the stress, or the turmoil we are feeling will last forever. In those moments, we forget that everything is temporary, and that's where the cycle of worry begins. We cling to the present and become consumed by the fear that things won't improve, that this moment of struggle is permanent. It's easy to feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders when you're standing in the middle of a storm. The winds howl, the rain pours down relentlessly, and you can feel the heavy, suffocating pressure as though it will never end. But here's where impermanence becomes the key to unlocking peace. What if I told you that this storm, this moment of distress you're facing, is not permanent? That just as every storm eventually gives way to clearer skies, the troubles you're facing will also pass. It's in this shift in perspective from viewing your struggles as permanent to recognizing them as temporary that peace begins to take root. The Buddha taught that nothing lasts forever. Not the good moments, not the bad ones, and certainly not the stormy, chaotic moments that seem to have a grip on your life. It's in understanding the fleeting nature of everything that we find a sense of calm, a steady knowing that whatever you are going through, it will pass. Let's take a deeper look at this. Imagine for a moment that you are standing outside in the middle of a violent storm. The wind is howling, the rain is beating down on you, and you feel completely overwhelmed by the forces of nature. In that moment, everything seems dark, chaotic, and completely out of control. You might even feel as though you'll never make it through this storm, that it will go on forever, and you'll be trapped in its fury. Now, as you stand there, look up at the sky. Do you see the clouds, the rain, the storm? Yes, they're there, and they feel real. But what happens when the storm passes? What happens when the rain stops, the clouds disperse, and the sun begins to peek through again? You realize that the storm was never permanent. It was a moment in time, a temporary experience. This is the same with the emotions and challenges we face. They feel intense, they feel all-consuming, and they often feel like they're here to stay forever. But the reality is, like all storms, they are temporary. The pain, the worry, the fear, the stress, they are all just passing moments. Just like the storm, they have their season, their intensity, but they don't last forever. And understanding this impermanence gives you the strength to stay grounded and calm in the midst of the chaos. Now, here's where the magic of impermanence truly shines. When you embrace the concept that everything is temporary, something profound happens. The grip of fear begins to loosen. You start to realize that the challenges you are facing right now, the difficult moments that feel like they will break, you will pass. Just as every wave rises and falls, every challenge comes and goes. This understanding doesn't take away the pain or the difficulty, but it gives you the space to breathe. When you can let go of the need to hold on tightly to the present moment, when you stop grasping at the fear and the anxiety, you can begin to approach life with a sense of openness and acceptance. You can weather the storm, knowing that it is just one moment in the endless flow of life, and it will eventually pass. What happens when you realize that everything is temporary? You start to live with greater ease. You stop fighting the natural rhythms of life. The things you once clung to, the fear, the anger, the sadness, no longer have the same hold on you. You can feel them, acknowledge them, and let them go, knowing that change is inevitable. Nothing stays the same forever, and this knowledge gives you the freedom to accept the moment as it is, while also trusting that things will evolve. Impermanence is not a curse. It's not something to be feared. Instead, it is a gift. It is the key that unlocks your ability to live fully, to breathe without anxiety, and to find peace in the midst of the storm. Think about the waves in the ocean. They rise high, they crash, they roar, and then they recede. The ocean, however, remains constant. The waves may change in size, shape, and intensity, but the ocean stays the same. You are the ocean. Your true self, the part of you that is calm, steady, and unshaken, remains constant even as the waves of life rise and fall. When we grasp onto the idea that we are the waves, we live in a constant state of fear, anxiety, and chaos. But when we remember that we are the ocean, we can embrace the changes that life brings and find peace in the impermanence of all things. The storm will pass, and you will still be here, grounded in your own sense of self, untouched by the chaos. When you understand the principle of impermanence, you begin to release the need for control. It's natural to want to hold on to things, to try and control outcomes, especially in times of uncertainty. We want to predict the future, make sure everything goes smoothly, and avoid the discomfort of change. But this desire to control only creates stress and anxiety, because the truth is, we cannot control everything. Buddhism teaches that letting go of control is one of the most freeing things we can do. When you allow yourself to simply accept the impermanent nature of life, you stop fighting the inevitable changes that are coming your way. You realize that the best way to face life's challenges is not by trying to control every detail, but by accepting change and trusting the flow of life. When you truly embrace impermanence, life becomes less about fighting and more about flowing. You stop clinging to the past and you stop worrying about the future. Instead, you allow yourself to live in the present, knowing that this moment, this storm, this challenge, it will pass. And when it does, you will stand stronger, wiser, and more aligned with the truth of who you are. Pause for a moment and imagine yourself standing at the edge of the ocean, watching the waves come and go. Feel the wind on your face, the sand beneath your feet, and know that just like the waves, you too are constantly changing and evolving. This is the beauty of impermanence. It is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. It's the key to living with peace, to letting go of worry, and to finding strength in the knowledge that nothing lasts forever. Embrace the storm because it will pass. Recognize that life is a continuous flow of changes, some small, some overwhelming, but all temporary. By accepting the impermanence of everything, you free yourself from the cycle of worry and stress, and you allow yourself to find peace in the present moment. The storm will pass, and you will rise stronger for having weathered it. 4. Faith and trust. Letting go of control. There's a common thread that runs through so much of our lives, a thread that, when pulled too tightly, can unravel the peace and stability we seek. That thread is control. From the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep, we're constantly striving to control something. We want to control our lives, the people around us, and perhaps most challenging of all, the future. We feel an innate need to plan, to predict, and to ensure that everything turns out exactly as we envision it. We clutch tightly to the illusion that by managing every detail, we can somehow secure our happiness, our success, and our peace of mind. But life, as it so often does, has a way of showing us that control is a mirage, a fleeting illusion that we chase only to realize that it slips through our fingers. Things fall apart. People disappoint us. The unexpected happens. And when that happens, when life doesn't align with our perfectly laid plans, many of us feel lost. We feel as though we've lost control, and with that, we lose our peace of mind. Buddhism teaches us a profound truth. Control is an illusion. It's not real, no matter how much we may wish it to be. The more we try to grasp onto life, trying to force it into the shape we desire, the more we lose touch with the peace we so desperately crave. It's like trying to hold sand in your fist. The harder you squeeze, the more it slips away. The tighter you hold, the more it escapes. This is where true peace resides, not in controlling the external world, but in mastering the internal world. Peace doesn't come from forcing life to meet your demands. Peace comes from the ability to let go, to accept the ebb and flow of life, and to trust that what is meant for you will find its way to you. Let's take a moment to really feel this idea letting go. In our fast-paced, achievement-driven world, the concept of surrendering control can feel foreign, even frightening. We live in a culture that celebrates doing, achieving, and controlling. But what if, instead of constantly striving to control everything around us, we began to embrace faith and trust? Letting go of control doesn't mean abandoning your responsibility or giving up on your goals. It doesn't mean surrendering to fate or passively sitting back while life happens to you. Letting go is not about giving up. It's about giving in to the natural flow of life. It's about trusting the process and having faith that even when things don't go as planned, there is still a greater force at work. When you surrender the need to control, you make space for trust. You trust that no matter what comes, you have the strength and wisdom to handle it. You trust that even in the midst of chaos, there is a deeper peace within you that can withstand life's storms. This is where the Buddhist concept of equanimity comes into play. Equanimity is the ability to maintain balance and steadiness in the face of life's inevitable challenges. It's not about avoiding difficulty or pretending that life is always smooth sailing. Equanimity is about cultivating a sense of inner calm, no matter what's happening on the outside. You see, life is a constant fluctuation of ups and downs, of good times and bad. In Buddhism, this is known as the law of impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. Every experience, whether positive or negative, is temporary. When things are going well, they won't last forever. And when things are tough, they won't last forever either. The key to inner peace is not in holding on to the good and trying to avoid the bad, but in finding steadiness amidst the constant change. Equanimity doesn't mean you don't care about what happens in your life. It means you respond to life with wisdom, calm, and trust. It's about shifting your energy from trying to control every outcome to simply responding with presence and acceptance. Instead of fighting against the storm, you learn to weather it with grace. Imagine a river. The river flows constantly without judgment. It moves around obstacles, it adapts to the changes in the landscape, and it flows through challenges. The river does not stop to question the rocks in its path. It simply moves forward, adjusting and finding its way. You are the river. You can flow through life's challenges with grace, adjusting as needed, trusting that each obstacle is a part of the journey, and allowing yourself to move with the current instead of resisting it. At the core of letting go and embracing equanimity is faith. Faith in the process of life. Faith in yourself. And most importantly, faith that everything is happening as it should, even when we can't see the bigger picture. You may find yourself faced with uncertainty, the unknown, or moments of intense difficulty. But it is faith that will carry you through. Faith doesn't mean blind trust. It means trusting that life has a way of unfolding, that things are happening for you, not to you. This kind of faith doesn't rely on external circumstances, it relies on inner knowing. It's the belief that even when things seem to be falling apart, there is order beneath the chaos, and that everything will work out in time. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a great mountain. The climb ahead is steep, and you can't see the top from where you stand. You might feel nervous, uncertain about the journey ahead, but you have faith that the climb is worth it. Each step you take is guided by trust that you are headed in the right direction. This is the essence of faith. It's not about knowing everything, but about taking the next step with trust in the process. Letting go of control is not a one-time event. It's a process. It's a journey that requires patience, awareness, and compassion for yourself. It's about recognizing that you don't need to control everything to have peace. The more you let go of the need to manage the outcomes, the more room you make for trust, faith, and calm. This doesn't mean giving up on your goals or dreams. It doesn't mean becoming passive. Letting go of control means shifting your focus. It means trusting in the flow of life and your ability to respond with wisdom and presence. It means finding peace in the knowing that the universe is unfolding in its own time. You are not meant to carry the weight of controlling every aspect of your life. Life, with all its unpredictability and chaos, is a dance of trust. Trust that the moments of difficulty will pass. Trust that the choices you make are leading you to where you need to be, and trust that you have the strength to face whatever comes next. Take a moment. Now close your eyes and let your mind and body relax. Breathe deeply, and as you exhale, feel the tension begin to release from your shoulders, your chest, and your mind. In this moment, allow yourself to surrender control. Let go of the desire to control everything and trust that whatever happens, you will be okay. Trust in yourself and trust that life is unfolding as it should. Feel the peace that comes from this surrender. The weight of worry is starting to lift. The sense of being overwhelmed is melting away. You are free. The practice of letting go of control is a journey of self-discovery. It's about embracing the unknown, having faith in the process, and finding peace within yourself despite external circumstances. As you release the need to control, you free yourself from the chains of worry, and you invite the calmness and clarity that come from trust. Trust in yourself, trust in life, and trust in the process. You are exactly where you need to be. 5. How to live without worrying about the future. Imagine yourself in a car, driving down a road, heading toward an unknown destination. You don't have a map. You don't know exactly where the journey will take you, but there's a feeling deep within that tells you you're headed in the right direction. The road is clear before you, the wheels are turning, and all you need to do is drive. But as you drive, you start to feel uneasy. You start to wonder, what if I took the wrong turn? What if I'm lost? What if the destination I'm headed to isn't the right one? Suddenly, your mind is flooded with 1,000 what-ifs. The possibility of mistakes, the fear of uncertainty, the doubt creeping in, causing your stomach to twist. You could spend the entire drive like this, constantly glancing in the rearview mirror, wondering if you missed an important turn, or fearing what lies ahead on the road. But what does that do? Nothing. All the time spent worrying about the unknown does not bring clarity. It does not change the road. It doesn't make the destination any clearer. The more you worry about what you can't control, the more you lose the clarity of the present moment. And the truth is, the only thing you can control is right now the direction of the wheel, the clarity of the road ahead, and the peace in this present moment. This metaphor perfectly encapsulates the essence of how we can stop worrying about the future. It's about realizing that you don't have control over the destination. You don't have control over the twists and turns the journey may take, but you have complete control over how you drive. You have control over how you respond to the present moment. The present moment is all we ever truly have. And when we focus on where we are now, we find peace, clarity, and the confidence to continue. For many of us, the desire to control everything is so ingrained that it feels almost impossible to let go. We live in a world that praises control over our lives, our careers, our relationships, and the future. We think that if we plan everything, manage every detail, and predict the outcome, we will be able to ensure that everything goes according to our desires. But here's the harsh reality. Life does not work that way. No matter how much we try to control every aspect, life is unpredictable. The unexpected happens. People change. Circumstances shift. Our health fluctuates. The future remains an unknown, no matter how much we try to force it into our desired shape. And yet we continue to try. We worry about our jobs, about money, about relationships, about health, and about what will happen tomorrow. We fixate on what we can't control, believing that by worrying about it, we can somehow change the outcome. But here's the real kicker. All that worry, all that stress, only takes away our peace. It robs us of our ability to be fully present, fully engaged, and fully alive. So how can we live without worrying about the future? The answer is deceptively simple acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean you don't care about the future. It doesn't mean you give up on your goals or stop planning. It means that you let go of the constant need to control what will happen next. It means that you trust the process of life and live fully in the present moment. Think about it this way. Imagine trying to drive your car while constantly looking in the rearview mirror. You might glance back for a moment to see where you've come from, but if you keep focusing on the past, you miss what's happening in front of you. The road ahead is blurry, and you can't make wise decisions because your eyes are fixed on a place that no longer exists. In life, we do the same thing. We spend so much time thinking about what we've already done in the past, or what might happen in the future, that we forget to focus on what's happening right now. The present moment is the only moment where life is truly unfolding, where you have the power to make choices, to act, and to experience joy, connection, and growth. Buddhism teaches us to practice mindfulness, the art of being fully present. Mindfulness allows us to stop worrying about the future because it teaches us that the future is unknown and no amount of worrying will change it. Instead of getting lost in thought, mindfulness brings us back to the present where we can fully engage with life as it is. To make this concept more tangible, let's walk through a real-life application. Imagine you're facing a challenge, whether it's a personal crisis, a financial struggle, or a career crossroads. It's easy to fall into the trap of worry. You want to figure it all out right now. You want to know exactly what will happen tomorrow. The pressure to make the right decision can be overwhelming. But here's a simple practice. Shift your focus back to this moment. Stop trying to figure out every possible outcome. Instead, ask yourself, what can I do right now to move forward? What action can I take in the present moment that brings me closer to peace? This could mean taking one small, actionable step. Maybe it's making a phone call, taking a walk to clear your mind, or simply acknowledging your emotions and giving yourself permission to feel without judgment. The key is to focus on what you can control this moment right here. The truth is, most of what we fear about the future never happens. By focusing on the now, you break the cycle of worry and open yourself to new possibilities. You find that when you are truly present, you are more resourceful, calm, and able to handle whatever comes your way. There's a saying that goes, trust the process. It's simple, but it holds deep wisdom. Trust that you are on the right path, even when it feels uncertain. Trust that the road you are walking with, all its twists, turns, and bumps, is exactly where you are supposed to be. Trust that life will unfold as it is meant to, and that you have the ability to handle whatever comes next. This doesn't mean you stop taking action or preparing for the future. It means that you stop obsessing over the future, stop trying to control every detail, and start trusting that each step you take will lead you to the right place at the right time. You can't predict the future, and you can't change the past, but you can choose to embrace the present. You can choose to trust that everything is happening as it should, even when it feels chaotic. And in that trust, you will find peace. Letting go of the need to control the future is one of the most liberating things you can do for yourself. The moment you release your grip on the what-ifs and the what could happen, you open up space for clarity, calm, and inner peace. Imagine standing in the middle of a field with nothing to do but breathe. There is no rush, no pressure, no constant striving. There is just peace. The weight of worry is no longer upon your shoulders. Instead, you are free to simply be free, to trust the unfolding of your life, and free to respond to challenges with a calm and centered mind. This is the power of letting go. It is the freedom that comes from realizing that you don't need to control everything to find peace. The future is not a place to be feared. It's a place to be trusted. The key to living without constantly worrying about the future is trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust in the life that is unfolding around you. When you let go of the need to control every aspect of your life, you free yourself from the heavy burden of worry. By focusing on the present moment, you step into your true power and regain the peace that has always been within you. Remember, you are not meant to control everything. You are meant to live fully, trust deeply, and embrace whatever life brings your way with grace and confidence. The journey of letting go of worry is not easy. It's not a simple switch you can flip overnight. It takes time, practice, and a deep sense of self-compassion. But the good news is this journey is within your reach. It's a path that can lead you out of the tangled web of fear, anxiety, and uncertainty and into a life of peace, clarity, and empowerment. As you face the inevitable challenges and uncertainties of life, you'll begin to realize that the true strength lies not in your ability to control everything, but in your ability to let go, to trust, to breathe, and to embrace the present moment with an open heart. This is the essence of what Buddhism teaches us, that the only moment you truly have is now. And in this moment, there is incredible freedom. When you find yourself overwhelmed by life's unpredictable twists, it's easy to get lost in worry. But in those moments, faith becomes your anchor. Faith in yourself, faith in the process of life, and faith in the understanding that everything is unfolding as it should. You are exactly where you need to be, even when the path ahead is unclear. Mindfulness becomes your guide, gently bringing you back to the present, where you can find peace amidst chaos. And the teaching of impermanence reminds you that nothing, not even the darkest storm, lasts forever. The pain, the worry, the struggle, they will pass. Remember, the next time you find yourself spiraling into the overwhelming grip of worry about what lies ahead, take a step back. Pause. Take a deep, slow breath and feel the air filling your lungs. Let it anchor you in the present moment. Release the fear and uncertainty about the future. Know that you have the power to navigate through life moment by moment with clarity and calm. You are more resilient than you realize, and you have the strength to handle whatever comes your way. By returning to the present moment, you are reclaiming your peace. You are making a powerful choice to stop letting fear dictate your life. You are choosing to trust in the process of life, in the unfolding of your journey. And as you embrace this wisdom, you begin to live with greater freedom, joy, and purpose. Takeaway: worry doesn't change anything. It only robs you of your peace. The key to living a life free from the constant grip of worry is in mindfulness, impermanence, and faith. By grounding yourself in these principles, you stop living in fear of what might happen, and instead start living in the beauty and serenity of the present moment. Let this be your reminder you don't need to see the entire path to move forward. Just take that first step. Trust the journey and let peace be your guide.